Question 3 then, we've got this diagram here and it's telling us that a bottle cork floats on water. It is partially submerged in the water, so we can see here is the partially submerged part of the cork in the water. And the question is, which of the following statements is or are true? Okay, so the first thing we need to realise is that if this is just floating on the water, then we've got a couple of forces, and they will be the object's weight, I'm going to call that mg, and we've got the upthrust from the buoyancy in the water. And we need to be able to state Archimedes' principle, which tells us that the upthrust is equal to the weight of the fluid that's being displaced. And once we know that, and sorry, before we do that, is what we can say is that the upthrust must equal the weight, because our object is in equilibrium, so the resultant force must be 0. So let's look at our 3 statements. Statement 1, the net force acting on the cork is equal to the weight of the water displaced. Well, that can't be true, because if there was a net force, then this object would be accelerating, but it's not, it's in equilibrium. So the net force is 0, and clearly the cork probably doesn't have much weight, but it does have some weight. Let's move on to number 2. Number 1 is not true. Let's have a look at number 2. The weight of the cork is equal to the upthrust on the cork. Well, because there is no net force, that has to be true. That's what we've worked out up here. So I'm happy that statement number 2 is true. And let's just have a look at the 3rd statement. The upthrust on the cork is equal to the mass of the water displaced. That can't be true, because mass is not a force. It's measured in kilograms, in SI units, and the force is measured in newtons. So newtons aren't the same thing as kilograms. Mass isn't the same thing as a force. So our 3rd statement is not true. So the only statement that is true is number 2, and that comes out as being answer D.